Okay, so goal.
Don't put my hands up. Then everyone doesn't.
We have a lot of rules around
Yeah.
here, if you don't know. We can't move our hands above our waist because then our camera's going to go wonky. We will have to create a collage of all those because it's actually hilarious. The only way you can get the camera centered is if you're doing a half squat over the couch and you have your hand up in a stop sign formation.
It's very scientific.
There's no other way. We had to use girl math. We're women in STEM trying to figure this out just so you guys can have a beautiful video of us every week. And as you can tell, this week's a very important week and we dressed up for the occasion.
Oh, yes.
I'm kidding. I'm wearing my comfy shirt. I hope everybody has one of these. Not this specific one, but you know, it's like 4 sizes too big. Kind of looks like a dress. Best shirt ever. So I got. I get called a hobo at home, but it's fine. But welcome back. We're super excited to have you back this week again.
Welcome back.
If you guys are new here, so are we. We're super excited to have you back this week. If you missed any of our previous weeks, you should definitely go back and watch those. We have some gems in there. You should have watched the TED Talk episode. If you didn't know, my dad's name is Ted, so it's even funnier. We have TED Talk with dad jokes for Father's Day. This week, we are talking about procrastination. We procrastinated recording this, so this is very last minute. So if it's really bad, we blame our procrastination. But just know that if we got it out on time, our procrastination skills are an art form and we have it down.
But hey, we still have some good jokes.
We got a lot. My uncle just told me one today, okay? Why do cows wear bells?
Why?
Because their horns don't work.
Oh, those.
If you want more jokes, maybe we'll have that section for that. But we need to head into the most important section of the weekend, actually, of every Sunday. Our favorite part of Sundays is weekly stats you didn't need to know, but now you know.
We tried to make an acronym for it.
You know, because it's just a mouthful to try and get out. It's too many words, so we've shortened it, and here it is. This is what we'll be calling it from now on. WSYDNTK BNYK. And no, I was not just doing an eye check to see if I can read long distances.
And no, we will not be repeating that again, so I really hope you memorize.
It's kind of fun. We can read it really fast. Can you make the font a little bit smaller to check my reading skills?
Yeah, here.
Oh god, don't make it smaller. I can't read up close. So, okay. Again, if you missed that, it's WSYDNTKBNYK. If you know, you know. Weekly stats you didn't need to know, but now you know.
This will be on the test, so don't forget.
Yeah, we will quiz you.
Yes, there will be a test.
I'm not gonna lie, I do say that a lot when people meet my extended family because there's so many of them. My poor boyfriend, I'm like, hey, there will be a quiz after this. But anyway, so some weekly stats. A fun one that I guess I will give you a good update is I was able to find a sundress. So a few weeks ago, right, went to the store, tried on 4 billion dresses, couldn't find anything. So I finally found one at TJ Maxx. You know, you can't go into TJ Maxx looking for something specific. You can't be like, I need a black dress that has a pattern. You're just going to go in there and it's going to either be there and it's not. And I found the perfect dress. And so that was great. But my weekly stat of, okay, so I have Caroline 1, dresses 0. Not kidding. That's the wrong stat. So I've one dress. So dresses secured this week. 1. Scratches on my car also secured this week. 1. While I was backing out of the parking lot, you know how they always say, find the parking spot that's the furthest away from the door. You're going to get your steps in. Life is going to be grand. There's going to be rainbows and butterflies and sunshine. Okay. I did that. And this parking lot was a zoo. Made sure no one was behind me. I start backing up. You know, you do that thing where you're like, I think I backed up far enough. But then when you go to cut the wheel, you're like, am I going to hit them? That's what was going through my brain. As soon as I put the car in drive, this old guy hits my car. He dings it. It wasn't like he was going really fast. So then I pull back into the parking spot and we both look at the car. And he has the audacity to tell me, it's just a wipe off.
Yeah, it's just a wipe off.
It's just a wipe off.
Yeah, no big deal.
So now that might be a new catchphrase. It's just a wipe off when we're overreact.
Yes, it's just a wipe off. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 sundress secured, 1 new scratch in my car.
And the scratch, in fact, did not wipe off.
Yeah. Didn't wipe off. So
I know. Yes, that's just a wipe off though. Yeah.
guess we just gotta wipe it off. How about your stats of the week?
All right. So stats for this week. I've been stress online shopping, but I don't actually remember that I start putting stuff in my cart. So this week's stats: online shopping carts that I've abandoned, 3. I went back to the same websites and saw I had full carts I never purchased.
Do you ever abandon one and then you forget about it, but then you get 6 emails from that company? They're like, hey, you might want to add this to your cart. You forgot this.
Or it's like, hey, you still there? Do you still want these?
Still there? No, I left 3 hours ago.
I always get like remorse, even though I don't actually buy them, and then I just return back to it. I'm like, I didn't really need this.
Yeah, because that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So
I do have one more that's actually kind of on topic, which is kind of surprising for me. But I guess I've been procrastinating going to the grocery store or meal planning in general because the amount of times I've opened the fridge this week and been disappointed in what's inside. Probably 50 different times. I don't know what I've been hungry for lately. Anything sounds good one time and then nothing sounds good another. I haven't felt like cooking. I mean, at least the weather's gotten nicer, so then you get like all the summer fruits and you can grill stuff. But I don't know what I'm hungry for. And then I get hungry and then I open and close the fridge. If only that was a workout. I'd be really good at being consistent with that workout, opening and closing the fridge.
No, lately I've just been eating snacks because it's just easier than meal planning.
I mean, heck, before this, we had a great breakfast items, I guess. We'll call it girl breakfast. Yeah, it's just little snacks. That's my favorite. But I need a good meal. And can someone cook it for me?
Can someone decide what to eat too?
Yeah, can someone just create a list? I have one friend who's really good about creating a weekly list of specific things she's gonna have: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then snacks. I said, can you just come over to my house and create that for me? Haley, if you're watching me, can you create one for me? Because I would really appreciate it.
Oh, and then so I have one more stat for today. In the spirit of the theme of the podcast, procrastination, I got 2 root canals this week.
Oh no!
So I learned, once you get cavities, it's best to get them replaced or fixed as soon as possible.
Yes, but look at her. She looks beautiful.
Thank you.
We're doing good. We're surviving.
And then some more motivation to take care of your teeth. If you get cavities filled, the fillings don't last forever. You still have to get them replaced every couple years. Or 10 years or so.
I did know that, which is a little sad.
Yeah. Take care of your teeth.
Okay, well that wraps up the weekly stats you didn't need to know, but now you know. I'm not even going to try to repeat that word again, or the acronym again, but let's dive in. So today we're going to talk about procrastination. And I would say that Holly and I are very good at it. I feel like a lot of people our ages are very good at it. I don't even know where I was going with that because my brain is like procrastination.
But yeah, so we don't learn to not procrastinate. We just learn how to be better at it.
Yeah, I want to know who taught me how to procrastinate because I'm really good at it, but it's also not a good skill to have. So I want to know, does anybody know who they learned procrastination from? We also want to hear in the comments, you guys should talk about the time you procrastinated the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
What's your best procrastination story?
Because I feel like procrastination stories just get so unhinged so fast.
Yeah. Or what do you do to procrastinate?
Yeah. Like, what do you do to procrastinate? Because everyone has their own excuses to procrastinate, or like things to do instead of what you're supposed to do,
Everyone has so many things to do, I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
I have the issue of I've been so used to such a busy schedule throughout high school and then college. I was working and I played softball and going to school and just doing all the college things, that once I graduated and I had extra time to do things, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's how my procrastination skill got better.
And then for me, I just got so good at procrastinating and managing stressors that now things that should stress me out just don't stress me out anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, no.
I think you get to a certain point. I know I definitely was this way in all of school where I had perfectionism written all over everything. I'm like, this needs to be perfect. And now since I graduated, I'm like, it's good enough. I mean, some things I do want them to be perfect, but others I've at least learned somewhat to let go and say, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to get done.
But yeah, so we looked into the science of procrastination, so you don't have to. Again, we're not professionals. We just Googled it.
Yep.
So, logically, we know that we should just do the things that we're supposed to do, so why don't we? Procrastination isn't just about laziness, it's about stress, perfectionism, or just a vibe. According to the neuroscientist Amitai Shenhav, an assistant professor of cognitive, linguistic, and psychological sciences at Brown University, it's not about laziness, it's about effort and timing. Our brains value immediate rewards more than distant ones. Deadlines are not very motivating until they're literally there.
That's true. Until you have something riding on what you're doing, yeah, you're probably not going to feel motivated to do it.
So, tasks that require planning and multiple steps, like essays or doing your taxes, are extra horrible to do because we hate the upfront thinking and planning before you can even start doing the tasks.
Right. I remember in college when you had to write those long essays that are research based. Some professors are nice and give you a long time to get them in, but then that's the issue of if you need to write 12 pages and they're due in a month, are you actually going to start once it's assigned to you? Are you going to start after a week? Are you going to do it 3 days before? I've been in multiple places where it's either I start super early and kind of chunk it out and do a little bit here and there, and then you're like, wow, that wasn't too bad. But then there's been other times where it's been 2 days before. I have so much other homework and stuff, so then I just cram it in, and that doesn't always go very well.
Oh no, but I've noticed the same where like I do better in classes that have no late work rather than allow late work for this like partial credit because I'll just like, not turn in anything on time because I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll do it later.
Oh yeah, yeah. If there's some sort of reward or something at the end, it'll make it better. But I do have a tip if you need to write an essay and you just don't know where to start and you just can't put words to paper. What I've done is go in Google Docs or you can even do this in Word and you use the text to speech button and then you just start talking to your computer. It's basically like what we're doing with you guys right now. We're just talking, but then the computer's writing it all down. And it could be the worst draft of the essay ever, but at least you have something down on paper and you can work with that. And usually it starts off a little rough, but then it gets way better.
Oh yeah. Sometimes starting is just the hardest part too. So
Yeah, that definitely is right. I'm trying to think. Obviously, we want to avoid stuff, but sometimes it's nice to just get stuff done. I mean, I like making to-do lists. Do I do the to-do lists? That's to be determined. Sometimes, do you ever do this where you create a to-do list and you break it down in such small pieces that you'll write something down that you already did so that you can cross it off your list?
yeah, and I cross it off immediately. That just feels nice. To just get to cross it off.
Yeah. So sometimes it's nice to have a to-do list to keep you keep you focused and organized. Focused. But yeah, sometimes it's hard.
When you're doing things that are really complex with a lot of steps, it's really easy to just get lost in like scrolling or just procrastinating or just doing anything. But an easy way to break through the cycle of procrastination is to just reward yourself after the little subtasks. But so yeah, I mean, sure, it's like if you get started, have a cookie, have
Yeah.
some fruit snacks, go on a walk. But yeah, sometimes getting started is really the hardest part.
And sometimes when I create a list of tasks I have to complete, I don't think that they're very complex, but then looking at them, they kind of are. Or if you say something like on your to-do list, like clean your bedroom.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that's probably putting away laundry, washing dirty laundry, making the bed, probably reorganizing the closet. You know how it is where I can't put the laundry in the dresser because the dresser isn't organized yet. And then this drawer isn't organized because this has to go in the closet, but then there's something in the closet that's black. You guys know how it goes. So maybe making it as simple as I'm putting away the laundry in this laundry basket. And then you can cross it off. And then the other thing, academics wise, sometimes a change of scenery helped me a lot for completing assignments I didn't want to do. I just carve out, okay, I'm going to the library for an hour to get this done. And then after, I'm going to grab Starbucks or I'm gonna have a movie night or something, and that seemed to help. And sometimes you get in the same routines. Sometimes you got to change it up a little bit.
All right, are you ready for procrastination story?
I'm ready. I had the audacity to think that I don't procrastinate all that much, but as I sit in bed watching a show when I know I have 50 other things to complete, I know I have some procrastination that I need to get rid of. Do you want to go first? What are some of the top things you do to procrastinate?
Oh man, so I was a supervisor for over 5 years. I've always been really good at getting my schoolwork done and getting to work. I was in charge of like doing everything and like planning out a lot of things at work. So I just stopped doing things in my personal life that I should.
Your hand.
No,
Guys,
It's
this is
perfect
what
for
we're talking
two.
about. We have this cute little camera, and now Holly's gonna have to be a gymnast and go around.
You
Here,
had it perfect too.
I know. Here, I'll do it.
Okay. No, unless you want to.
So just lean us
Wait,
here
what
a
if
little
we
bit.
just sit down?
Okay. Now put your hand up.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Wait, is it this one?
It doesn't matter which hand. Just as okay, but
Is it
it's just locked.
I guess instead of doing the half squat, we could sit up here.
I guess. Look at it.
Learn something new.
So again, if you're new here, so are we, and we have this awesome little tiny camera that helps us record our videos and podcasts in general. And it has a cool function where if you put your hand up in the shape of like a stop sign, or if you're like giving someone a high five, it will start tracking you around the room. So I could stand up and walk around the room and I would be in the middle of the camera, which is awesome feature. Except when you're trying to record a podcast, it is the worst feature. And that we like to talk with our hands. So we're learning a new skill. We're learning how to talk without our hands because we seem to have issues talking with our hands. So that was a fun little adventure. All right, but now we're back.
Back to it. I've been a supervisor for over 5 years, and I've always been really good at getting the stuff I have to do for work and school done. And at work, I had to plan a lot of things and schedule a lot of things. So basically, I would just cut slack where I could, which was always in my personal life. So the worst I think I did was I went over a week without getting gas after I got
Oh my gosh.
high low gas.
You're like, I'm going to work, I'm going to school, I'm coming home, eating, bedtime.
Yeah.
Then wake up, go to work, school, come home, bedtime.
And be like, okay, I can't wake up 20 minutes early to go get gas. And also, I'm not getting gas after work. I'm tired.
So like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Also, I live about 20 minutes away from my job. So,
So you kind of need gas to get there. It's not like you could go on empty.
So I was driving on empty for a week. And finally, one day, I was like, okay, I think I might have just tested fate too much. So on my lunch break, I was going to go get gas. And my car stalled. I thought I ran out of gas. Turns out I ran out of gas and oil at the same time.
Oh my god.
I had to like go back in embarrassed, and like I rightfully got made fun of a little bit. But yeah, I had to push my car back into the parking lot, and then I believe it blew my transmission.
It blew your
But
transmission?
maybe not transmission. I'm terrible. I don't even know what it was called, but
There's so many car parts, I still have no idea what they are. But I know if a transmission goes bad, your car's junk.
no, it
I
wasn't.
mean, you can get it fixed,
Yeah.
but that's like bad.
No, it wasn't a transmission because it was under like 1,000 to fix. So it wasn't that bad.
Okay, so
But
maybe
yeah.
it was a transmission, but you can, if you don't have enough oil in your car, you can blow your transmission. I learned that from my dad.
But yeah, so I learned that from experience.
Yeah, okay, so now we can all learn from Holly's experience. You need to not procrastinate on getting gas or oil or any car repairs or any dentistry.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Those probably aren't categories you want to procrastinate.
No, don't
Going to the doctor, no.
No.
that's not- So doctor, dentist, car.
Yeah, transportation, paperwork. You should like your driver's license. Those
Right.
things. Those are important.
So those are things you shouldn't procrastinate at all. The things you can procrastinate: laundry, dishes, going to the grocery store, homework. I'm trying to think, cleaning of any sort. Those you can all procrastinate.
Yard work. Yeah, you can totally.
Oh, yard work. I forgot about that
Totally.
one. Yard work. Yeah. So again, I said I had the audacity where I said I don't procrastinate that much, or I don't have any good procrastination skills. I got a whole resume here. Trying to think through everything I would do to procrastinate in my college years and now. Going on an ice cream run and late at night. It's always the best. Baking anything. I love to bake, and I have a sweet tooth. So I guess that's a good combination, but also a bad combination. So I will bake things to get out of doing whatever I don't want to do. Really, any adventure that requires not doing what I have to do. I'm also a nap queen. Okay, I can take a nap anywhere, anytime, and still go to bed on time. Okay, special skill that I probably should have put on my resume. But nap, if I'm not feeling good, nap. If I'm tired, extra tired one day, nap. If I have laundry or cleaning to do, nap. You know, just nap. I'll create a to-do list, as I mentioned earlier. Sometimes I'll create a to-do list and add things I've already done so I can cross them off right away. Watch TV. I feel like a lot of people do that. Blame it on not being the perfect conditions to do something.
Oh, yeah.
I will go for a run. Oh, but it's 55 and 20-mile-an-hour winds. Can't do it. I mean, that sounds like actually a nice temperature to run in, because when I was training for my half marathon, I think I ran in like 35-degree weather. I digress, though. I can ignore things such as returns or the garbage in my car. I'm really good at just ignoring and pretending like, oh, I meant to bring that in, or I meant to return that, and I just don't. Ooh, okay. You have something that you're procrastinating so much that you're gonna rearrange your whole room.
Mhm.
I've done that before. I'm just gonna move this over here. What ends up happening is I think the furniture in my room can be arranged in a certain way. So then I'll start rearranging it in the way that I think it can be arranged. And then by the time I've arranged most of it, I realize it's not going to work. So then I have to put it all back to where it was. I've done that a couple times. And then the other part I've come to find out is don't tell me to do something, because then I most likely don't want to do it. If I come to the realization myself, I'll do it. But I don't like when people tell me what to do on that part. So as you can see, we're very experienced in this category. We thought it'd be a fun category to hear from all of our listeners and see what procrastination skills, what art form everybody has. Feel free to drop that in the comments.
Do you ever look at Zillow to procrastinate? Like trying to
Yes.
motivate yourself to achieve?
I go on Zillow, I'm like, okay, what house can I afford? And it goes, you search and it goes, you can afford nothing. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Develop lots and lands.
It's very humbling. Yeah, very humbling. Yeah. So it makes you, yeah, that was a very humbling experience. And it'll make you not want to procrastinate. So maybe you should start doing that. Start looking at Zillow and seeing what you can't afford.
But yeah, so you'd love to hear all of your procrastination stories too, because we know you have them.
We know you do.
We know you do.
We know you do. All those coffee runs in the middle of the afternoon scream procrastination.
Do you want to do do's and don'ts or unqualified rant next?
We could do do's and don'ts just quickly.
All right, so we put together a couple do's and don'ts on how to procrastinate and how not to procrastinate.
Because maybe you need both.
You know?
I'm not saying you only need one. Maybe you need both. So I guess I'll do the do's and you do the don'ts.
Sounds good.
Okay, so sometimes just taking 5 minutes to do something is better than not doing anything, and you'll feel accomplished even though it's something so small, which is kind of crazy to say, but sometimes just, I know what I was going to say. I was listening to this one podcast on NPR Life Kit about 5 cleaning hacks that I thought were very interesting, and I've actually done this before and found it super helpful, so I thought I would share. The 5 things are, you go into a room, doesn't matter whatever room you're cleaning, but you're going to follow these 5 steps. You can't move on to the next step until you've finished whatever step you're on. So the first step is you're going to gather all of the garbage that's in your room, that you're cleaning your room. You're going to gather all the garbage in your room. You're not looking for anything else. You're not seeing how many pieces of dirty clothing are on the floor or anything. You're just looking for trash, throwing it out. When you're done with that, then you're going to look for any dishes, any cups, any plates, any bowls, drinks. I know I tend to have a lot open at one time. You're going to get rid of all those. Put them in the kitchen, put them in the dishwasher, whatever. Once you're done with that, you're going to look at all your clothing. You're going to make a pile of your laundry, and you're going to put away any clothes that are clean. You're not looking for anything else. You're not seeing, oh, this is out of place. You're just dealing with clothes. Once you're done with that, then you're going to look for items that have a place in the room that you're in. So maybe your deodorant's not in the correct spot. It stays in your room. You're going to go find where it stays. And then finally, you're going to deal with things that don't have a place. So I know everybody has that junk drawer in their house. So maybe it's items that need to go there. Maybe it's items that need to go in the living room, and you're going to deal with those. The nice thing about breaking it down is it's nice to be able to focus on one thing at a time. And then say one day you're super tired, but you only have 5 minutes and your room is really bothering you because it's so messy. That may or may not have happened to me. You just start. I literally used this the other night. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all the trash that's in my room. So I start doing that. And then I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. I'm kind of tired. I'm going to bed. But at least I got one thing done. And then tomorrow I can say, okay, well, I got all the trash out, so let's look at dishes. And you can kind of break it down that way. So again, you can reward yourself after you complete these tasks. Another thing you can do is get an accountability partner. I've actually done this with two of my friends where we talk about doing all these things. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this every day. And it never gets done because no one's there checking in on you, kind of. Like if you're thinking, I'm going to follow this morning routine. Well, if you have a lot of motivation, that can be pretty easy to do. But if you don't, and so you want to work your way up to having a nice daily routine or whatever, it's nice having accountability partners so you can check in with them and say, hey, this week was rough. I was able to follow the routine 3 out of 7 times or whatever. And I think just knowing that there's other people in your corner can help you a lot.
Yeah, because I've done that with Caroline a lot, and it's really helped me become a lot more productive too. And it is how we got this podcast.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, hey, let's see. Do you think we can do this week? Okay, let's break it down. Let's do this. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Now let's get into the don'ts of procrastinating.
So first off, don't tell yourself you have plenty of time. I tell myself that constantly. It's always how things end up going worse.
You never have enough time for
No,
anything.
no. So instead of saying you have enough time, instead schedule a time to do it. It doesn't have to be right now, but just schedule a time so you don't have to think about it. Don't use cleaning as a productivity flex because
I've done that before.
I've done that so much.
I don't want to write this paper. Man, my bedroom's looking pretty messy.
Yeah, my apartment's always so clean, right? Around 5.
It's usually one or the other. You don't want to do homework, then you're going to have the cleanest house ever. And if you don't want to clean, all your homework's going to be done.
And this one's a little too obvious, but don't wait until the last minute. I mean, I know we all will, and that's okay, but it's always better to just schedule a time to do something rather than waiting until it's an emergency.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Now that brings us to maybe my favorite part of the podcast, our unqualified rants and our unqualified advice.
So you may have remembered Caroline's little parking lot fender vendor.
Yeah. So my rant has to do with that. And it's not using the term. It's just wipe off.
It's just a wipe off.
So if you have an iPhone, I don't know when this happened, but I feel like maybe a year or two ago, they came out with like the journals app that's tied in. It's one of the Apple apps or whatever. And so sometimes I clicked into it. I'm like, oh, this is a nice idea. Having a journal right there, they give you prompts. I think I've used it a couple times just when I was bored or whatever. So the other day I was looking back at it and I didn't do anything with it. But then you know how it can kind of sense that you were looking at it. So then it will give you a notification, be like, hey, it's time to journal. And then you're like, yeah, maybe I don't want to journal. But it had the audacity the other day. It was like, hey, it's time to journal. Why don't you journal about the time you were at TJ Maxx? I'm like, are you serious right now? You want me to go back to when I found a sundress and then got hit in the parking lot?
Because it just knew enough about you that
it just knew my location.
It
was
you
like
were at the TJ Maxx. It just didn't know enough. It just didn't.
Hey, I just wanted to swing by and say you should journal about the time that old guy hit your car and said just wipe it off.
Just wipe it off.
You think I journaled that night?
No.
No.
But I don't think you need to journal to remember that day.
Nope. I got it ingrained in my brain and on my car. All right. Our unqualified advice of the week.
So I'm going to start off with this one. My unqualified advice. I still think this one's really good. If you ignore your problems long enough, they're not going to go away. They're just going to get worse. And oh boy, they get worse.
So listen to us. We're experts. They're unqualified.
Next up, you can set a 5-minute timer, even if you don't do anything too productive other than make a list of things to do with 5 minutes before you go back to doing whatever you want. Just set a 5-minute timer. Get started.
Yeah. Or something that I've done is a brain dump where you have so many things swirling in your brain that you need to complete or just random things you're thinking of. Just take that 5 minutes, scribble down everything you can think of. And it's nice having that out of your brain and on a piece of paper. And then you can select the little things you can complete for the day. And again, we want to hear from you. If you have any ideas of things you want to become experts in, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we'd love to hear all of your stories. Any tips, tricks, ways to avoid procrastination? Let us know.
Or ways to procrastinate. I need some new ones.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
people. And again, you can check out some of our blog posts and get a sneak preview of our episodes for the next week on our website. You can go to www.thepodmates. And you can check out previous week's episodes. You can check out a preview of next week's episode. And you can leave us a comment. Follow us on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Can't wait to hear from you. And thanks for listening.
Thanks. See you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That's a wrap on our episode of Expertly Unqualified. If you stuck around this long,
You're either extremely loyal, extremely bored, or extremely caffeinated. Either way, we love that for you.
make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review if you laughed, related, or were personally attacked by something we said. Find new episodes and more on our website, thepodmates.com.
And don't forget, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Expertly Unqualified. Send us your stories, questions, or weird hot takes. You might just hear them on a future episode.
We are, as always,
Expertly Unqualified. Conversation's so fun, you'll forget we have no idea what we're doing.
This was a Podmates production.